Let's talk about some things, ladies and gentlemen. Starting with your individuality is the coolest thing that you have. It's the most personal thing that you have. It's the person looking out through your eyes, that is completely individual. There's nobody else that is looking out through your eyes. Isn't that crazy? That is like the most personal thing that you have. Individuality, right? So let's say that human individuality arises from a collective, right? From a collective soul, a spirit, whatever you want to call it, a folk soul. We all belong to different folk souls. So when we're having all these debates, we're having all these arguments, and every individuality is seeing the topic, the subject from their own individual experience. And of course, that leads to disagreements and eventually wars and whatnot. But what if we understood that we're individuals? We have individual perspectives on reality, and then we find the things that are common, that we have in common with other individualities, and then we go from there. How come we have to? How come we always have to disagree? We always have to be right. Everybody has to be right. Isn't that interesting? This is prop tobacco, by the way. This is not real. This is legal in all 50 states. Isn't that weird, though, that we always have to disagree? We always have to find ways that separate each other, ourselves from each other. So, okay, we already know that, though. We already know that we're individuals. Okay, so where does that get you? You have to work together. You have to find things in common with other people in order to get things done. You know what we all have in common together, everybody in this country, is our flying pyramid dollar bills. Everybody here works for the same eye on top of the pyramid dollar bills. Okay, I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying that's what it is. What it is. Excuse me. I'm old school. I like my matches. Makes me feel like I'm in a 1880s saloon in the Wild West. Do you guys ever think about how close the Wild West is to our time? Dude, the 1870s, or the shootout at OK Corral, what was that, like 1880s, 1870s, 1970s? Think about the difference between that and the freaking 1970s. And the 70s were 50 years ago now. So 150 years, that's not even that, dude. There's one thing that blows my mind always. It's how close history is. History is actually really close. It's actually way less far away than we think. 500 years ago, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama. I always like that name, Vasco da Gama. What a name, dude. Hey, what's up, bro? What's your name? Vasco da freaking Gama, bro. Anyway, that was all 500 years ago. The Renaissance, the explosion of science and intellect, the age of intellect, as they call it in some circles. That was only 500 years ago. And, that's eight old people. That's eight old guys sitting on the side of the cafe, feeding the birds, reading the newspaper. Just eight of them. Eight old guys. 8 old guys is 500 years. You could do the math. 80, 70, 80 times 8. 460. I don't know what the numbers are. I'm bad at math. Please don't quote me on this arithmetic. But, dude, 8 old people. That's not that many old people. 8. That's 500 years. Think about 2,000 years. That's like 15 old guys. That's really not that much. Think about you. What happens when you're an old guy? You're 80 years old. It's going to be like 2050, 2060, 2040. I don't know how old some of you might be, but that's not that long, dude. You're going to be old, and then you're going to be the guy that lived a full lifetime, which is crazy, dude. It's crazy. It's not that long. 2,000 years ago was like 25 guys. You go back like 6,000, 8,000. Let's go back to the old continent that flooded over when the poles flipped the last time 12,000 years ago, Atlantis, right? That's like 45 old. That's like 40 generations. That's really, dude, okay, it's probably more than 40. I don't know the math. 50, 60. Still, it's way less than you think, dude. 60 old guys in a row. That's history. 60 old guys in a row. Let me do the math real quick. Hold on. Hey, it's 11:11. That's pretty cool. You guys, does that ever happen to you? You pick up your phone, it's freaking 11:11. It's every time. 11222. We all know coincidences, all that stuff. All right. Let's do 70. Let's do 70-year-old guy times 60. Okay, that's 40. That's 4,000 years old. Okay, let's do 80 times 60. Okay. So let's say it's 100 old guys is 12,000 years ago. 100 old guys? Bro. Anyway, I like thinking about that. I like thinking about how short history is. It's really short. It's really not that long. Which kind of makes it, makes it a little bit more personal. It makes the myths and legends of history a little bit more personal, which I like. But anyway, what was I talking about? I think I was going to make this video to talk about individuality or something. Yeah, I was thinking about how we always argue and debate and everybody's always mad at each other online. And guess what? I'm not against that. I'm not against arguing. We should argue because it's one thing to take a zoomed out view of the thing, but it's another thing to be engaged in an argument. And I love doing that. I love trolling. I love pissing people off. You just press the right buttons and you get a whole reaction. I love it. I love doing that. So I don't blame anybody for doing that. But also, it's like, dude, when you zoom out a little bit, we're all individuals. We're all individualities. We're individualities of human consciousness. So that's pretty cool. It is pretty cool to be alive. I say that all the time, and I'll say it again. It's dude, think about it, dude. We only started flying 100 years ago. Our grandpas did not know how to fly. They couldn't fly through the air like that. Dude, now we're flying around everywhere. Think about that, dude. That blows my mind. Have you guys ever flown on a plane? Every time I fly in a plane, I'm like, this is a miracle. This is unbelievable. For 12,000 years, well, there were Vimanas and UFOs thousands of years ago, but that's another topic. But forever, man has walked on the earth like a beast. We've looked up at the birds and we've been jealous. You guys ever look at the birds? I literally get jealous of birds because they can fly. They can just do whatever they want. I can only do that in dreams. But now we can fly, dude. We can fly through the air at hundreds of miles an hour anywhere we want on the planet, except Antarctica. Anywhere on the planet except there. And nobody thinks about it. Nobody even cares. Hey, man, we're just flying across the ocean. No problem. I'll see you there tomorrow. What? Dude. Do you know how jealous all of your great grandpas are of you? Do you know how jealous they are? I know my great grandpa's freaking pissed off, dude. He's like, are you kidding me? This guy gets to fly? This guy can't even spell his name. He can't even multiply 60 times 80. He doesn't even know it's 5,800 years. And he can fly. He can fly around and eat any food he wants. He goes to the grocery store and gets bananas in the middle of February. What a prick, dude. All those guys must be so mad at us, dude. They were like they were doing so much cool stuff. They were building like Gothic cathedrals and like traveling the world and shit. You know, exploring and drawing maps and stuff and building, you know, building those billows, you know, that they used to blow up fire. Those billows, dude. Some medieval billows. Are they bellows? They're bellows. I'm sorry, they're not billows. They're bellows. I like me a good bellow, dude. Imagine a nice bellow. You got your fire, you're stoking it up. Yeah, dude. Those guys were making bellows, and we're around here. Da Vinci, the freaking Da Vinci guy, was making like helicopter prototypes, and we're out here flying in jumbo jets across the ocean. Do you know how pissed off he is? Nah, but that, you know, if you believe that you only live once, I would be pissed off too. I would be like, really, this is it? We're not gonna live 200 years from now and see like flying shit to Jupiter. But and this is what I'm gonna make some videos about imagination, dude. Imagination is unironically a human like brain process, and it like everything that has ever been invented started in the imagination. We need to like train our imaginations, bro. For real. We got to train our imaginations. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's for another time. I don't know how long I've been recording this. Let's see. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off here. So, yeah.